This is our pre-meeting, Tuesday, October the 19th. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now in the hands of our capable city clerk, Ms. Lisa Lambert.
This is the pre-meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, October 19th. We have approval of minutes from October the 12th.
Good.
Accept.
Very good. Appeals, we have requests for a waiver of the noise ordinance on October 24th in Medal of Honor Park from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. On October 31st, Wildwood Place from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. And October 23rd at Lad People Stadium from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. Public hearings today is a public hearing to consider an ordinance to amend and restate Chapter 64 zoning of the Mobile City Code and to adopt the City of Mobile Unified Development Code.
Do any council have any comments on that?
We're going to let everybody who
Rich?
signs in, right? They don't have to sign in ahead of time.
Yeah, it's a public hearing, so.
Yeah.
Public hearing to consider approval of a project agreement by and among the City of Mobile, Mobile County, and Austell.
Any council member have any questions? Mr. Williams?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to maybe save us a little bit of time. I hear that we're not going to pass the UDC today. And we might be able to save the public a lot of time, save ourselves a lot of time, and allow the administration to get back to work if that is the case. And we could save a couple hours. The administration could go back right now and start the resubmission of this UDC. And just in fairness to everybody who might be driving down here watching the pre-council meeting, or they're waiting for a phone call, we could save them a drive, we could save people time. What say ye that we, I'm not asking for a straw poll, but what our opinion is. Because if this thing doesn't have a chance, let's just, let's use this pre-council meeting to let it be known.
We have to have the public hearing. It's
We still do,
required.
absolutely.
Thank you.
And we're still going to have a vote.
Right.
We're going to have a vote, no question about it. Can't avoid that. But we could avoid a whole lot of people coming down here and wasting their time if it is such that it's a waste of time. I'm ready to vote positive. I think it's time to get something on the books.
Any other council members?
Mr. President,
Mr. Richardson?
I may not, my eyes may not be 20/20, but I just don't see the whole lot of people. I don't see a living soul over here. I don't see nothing right in the middle here. I see a lot of folks here from the administration. I don't see a whole lot of people. Let's rock and roll.
It's a pre-council meeting. Oh, well.
Mr. Williams?
Never mind. I mean, I know that Fred's going to vote against this, and I just think we're wasting a lot of time. And if that's not the case, then tell me it's not the case, and let's and that it has a chance. That's all I'm looking for.
Mr. President, let's rock and roll. We got prophets in here.
Okay, but council, we was, at the public hearing, Madam Clerk had read out the City of Mobile, Mobile County, and Austell agreement. Any questions on that or comments?
Nope.
No.
Madam Clerk?
Public hearing to consider approval of multifamily housing revenue bonds by the Public Finance Authority.
I have some questions about this, if I could.
Ms. Rich?
Apparently, this isn't an obligation for the city to take on any kind of debt, but is there any information on where these programs will be going? Do we have any background information on this, if anyone was to ask? Other than that, it strictly looks like we're doing some paperwork.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr.
so Preston Bolt will be here at the 10:30. If
Great.
he's not here already to give you all details.
That'd be great. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Public hearing to rezone property located at 1490 Telegraph Road from R1 to I2.
Do have a question on that. I guess, Ms. Rich, did this come before the planning commission and did the residents come down and from
You know,
R1 to I2?
honest to goodness, I don't remember this. I know we've gotten some emails from Africa Town's, supporters and concerns about it, and I cannot recall if they actually attended the planning commission.
Yeah,
There's
we
more.
did get
They
them.
might have sent letters. I seem to
We got
remember
it,
that.
well, we got an email in
Right.
opposition.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
That would be the best person to tell you.
Thank you. This application was recommended by the Planning Commission. We had Lela Lowe, Joe Womack, and Ramsey Sprague in opposition, and Mr. Sprague also sent an email in opposition.
So can you tell us who's trying to turn this from R1 to I2?
Yes, sir. It's the owner of the property, and I'm not sure what you have in front of you or available in terms of your zoning map. But if you look, the property adjacent to the south is zoned I2. The property adjacent to the north is zoned I1. And the property across Telegraph Road is zoned I2. It's literally an unusual spot zoning of R1. And it is bounded on the east by the railroad tracks, to the north by light industrial, to the south by heavy industrial, and to the west across Telegraph Road as heavy industrial. This property is shown on the future land use map as industrial. It's also shown in the Africa Town general land use map as industrial. The property is considered primarily non-conforming in that it was developed with a warehouse prior to the adoption of the current zoning ordinance in 1967. So it is a developed property, but it's still zoned R1.
So it has a warehouse on it
Yes,
now.
ma'am.
And everything around it, the I-1s and the I-2s that you were talking about, are they also developed?
Yes, ma'am. Like I said, I'm not sure what you have available to you. We can make copies after this meeting and provide the zoning map and the aerial and site plan to you.
We have that in our
Okay.
packet.
Mr. President,
Mr. Richardson?
how close is it to the nearest residence?
I would have to take a measurement, but I'm going to estimate as the crow flies, well over 600, 800 feet. It fronts Telegraph Road. There are no residences in the area fronting Telegraph Road. There are residences on the side streets.
What will they be doing on this property?
It would be for any compliant I-2 use.
Okay, for I-2, can they make noise at night?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And that's what the issue is. They're 600 feet from a residential area. People have to go to work, and whether or not they're going to be banging and carrying on all night long is the issue. So we don't know what's coming. And I see why we had some people from the residential neighborhood over there, because once you zone it, then they can make noise like B2. You got to close up. You can't be making all of that noise. So this could this be a manufacturing facility
Yes, sir.
with 3 shifts?
It would not, zoning would not limit the shifts.
I see some issues. Okay.
I have a, Mr. Vice
Day.
President. I'm looking at the map. And as you said, it's got a railroad to the east of it. It's surrounded on the other 3 sides by I-1 or I-2, is that correct? And is this a railroad spur coming in from the west?
It's coming in, it adjoins the property for its entire eastern boundary.
I'm not talking about the railroad on the east. But if you look to the west, across Telegraph Road, on the other side of Telegraph Road, it looks like there are several railway spurs that go up, and one turns east and looks like ends on across from this parcel, but on the other side of Telegraph Road.
Yes, sir. And then you have one that also, there are multiple spurs.
Right, multiple spurs.
Yes, sir.
So in
And-
addition to being surrounded by I-1 and I-2s, it's basically surrounded by railroads also.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other council members? Thank you.
Public hearing to declare structures at 1001 Barber Drive East, 502 Stanton Road, 1021 Somerville Street, 1064 Wood Alley, and 1632 Prairie Avenue, public nuisances and ordering them demolished. And also public hearing to fix the cost for demolition of structures at 1268 St. Meter Street, 1800, formerly known as 1808 Halls Mill Road, 4770 Campanella Drive South, 5630 Hunter Street, 5661 King Street, 5620 Perry Road, 2558 Kreitner Street, 962 High Point Drive West, 2710 Ralston Road, 7362 Andrew Walker Court. Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Kurt Matei regarding the UDC. Charlie McCants wants to get the city's perspective on a professional sports team in Mobile. Are you willing to support a team? Bob Chappelle regarding the UDC. Sharon Thames and Dr. Felicia Wilson regarding the Mobile Stay Well Community Vaccine Health Fair and Vaccine Event coming this weekend. Reggie Hill regarding agenda items 21933, 21931, 09927, 07923, 01922, 64035, 09886, and 64026. Okay, that's it. Ordinance is held over, 64026. That's the ordinance to amend and restate Chapter 64. Resolutions held over, 01879, authorized amendment to the enrollment agreement with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama for third-party administration of the city's health and dental plan and flexible spending accounts. 08880, approve purchase orders to petroleum traders for fuel for the Wave Transit. 08881, approve purchase orders to petroleum traders for fuel for motor pool. 08882, approve purchase order to RPF Emergency Services for tree removal at Mobile Soccer Complex. 09883, appropriate monies from the Alabama Municipal Trust Fund to various capital projects. 09884, reallocate monies from capital project vehicle supplement to capital project motor pool fund. 09885, reallocate monies from Convention Center Flood Protection Project to the Innovating St. Louis Street Project. 09886, reallocate monies from Gulf Quest Cruise Terminal Dock improvements to various capital improvement projects. 18887, determine the necessity for condemnation of property for the widening of McGregor Avenue. 21888, authorized contract with McCrory and Williams for design and engineering services, 3 Mile Creek Greenway Trail, Section 1 and 2. 21889, authorized contract with Dix Height Partners for design and engineering services, 3 Mile Creek Greenway Trail, Sections 5 through 7. 23890, accept deeds from Annie Galloway for right-of-way for the McGregor Avenue widening project, Airport Boulevard to Dolphin Street, Track 3. 25891, accept permanent easement from Barbara Glaude for Canal Street Wall Repair Project. 09896, transfer monies from the general fund to the Mobile Police Department support services to animal services. Ordinance is being introduced. 52034, ordinance to amend section 52-31A of the City Code regarding emergency action in the abatement of safe buildings. 64035, rezone property at 1490 Telegraph Road. Consent resolutions being introduced. 03897, appoint Charles Hendry to the Electrical Examiners Board. 31898, authorized grant application to the USDA Reinvestment Fund for America's Healthy Food Financing Initiative, $200,000, no match. 37899, 37900, 37901, 902 are recommending approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a retail beer, table wine, off-premises only license for Airport Shell on Airport Boulevard, for issuance of a manufacturer liquor license for Oyster City Brewing on Government Street, for issuance of a retail beer, table wine, off-premises only license for Nova Market at O'Shell Road, Suite A, and for issuance of a lounge retail liquor Class 1 license for La Rumba on Dolphin Island Parkway. 40, 903, 904, 905, 906, 908, 909, 910, 911, 912, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 are declaring structures public nuisances and fixing the cost for demolition of structures. 58, 918, and 919 are declaring weeds noxious. Weedling groups 1621 and 1622. 46920, name the basketball court in Herndon Sage Park as the Marion J. Shepherd Herndon Sage Park Outdoor Basketball Court. 46921, rename Pritchard Avenue between Mobile Street and St. Stephen's Road as Noble C. Beasley Avenue. We've been asked to add 03937, reappointing Bonnie Bates to the History Museum of Mobile Board. Resolutions being introduced for the first time is 01922, authorized project agreement with Mobile County and Austell, USA.
We want to take some comments now from them, maybe they're here, maybe that'll take them some time.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, you all can come on down.
I would think we're going to hold this over one way by rule. Anybody have a reason why we should not do that? They understand that that's the case, they knew it before they.
Thank you. My name is David Rogers, 15 Sims Avenue, City of Mobile. I also represent as the VP of Economic Development, the Mobile Area Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for your consideration today and allowing a public hearing for this, but this is a really exciting project. As many of you were with us to celebrate just a few months ago out at Austell for our groundbreaking ceremony with them. But this will be for the new steel line for their manufacturing of ships. So they will actually be able to produce aluminum and steel ships at this facility. With that comes growth, and with the growth comes much congestion when you're dealing with over 4,000 employees. This is certainly a way to really retain jobs in Mobile as much as it is to be our future growth of these jobs. But for many of the citizens in Mobile that are working there, the biggest concerns for the infrastructure of the site is the ingress and egress. And that's really what is being asked of you guys today to consider, is to consider a $1.5 million allowance for them to reroute some of the access roads into the site as they're needing to shift around for some of the parking of the employees and to be able to get the products in and out. To make this more efficient, much more safe. And so I know that they have worked with a few engineering firms around Mobile just to kind of look at this in multiple different ways. And so I do have a couple of representatives from Austell. Want them to be able to kind of talk to you guys about some of their impacts, what they do to this community, especially when it resolves around workforce development and being a corporate partnership. So I'll turn it over to them real quick.
Thank you and good morning.
morning.
I'm Napoleon Bracey. I'm the manager for diversity and inclusion at Austin USA. Here with me this morning is Mr. Ryan Lee. He's our senior manager for workforce development. And of course, most of you know our story. And I just want to say I appreciate so much all the support that you all have given us in the past. I thought it was just a great thing to see this as, you know, some of you are leaving. One of the final things that you will be doing on the council is continuing to support Austell in the great work and opportunities that we're providing for the citizens of Mobile and Mobile County. This has just been great for us. I know the last time we talked, we kind of went into detail about some of the commitments and partnerships that we have in the community with like Bishop State Community College, with Williamson High School, with our Maritime Academy, providing opportunities for our young people. We've hired over 40 youth apprentices from our public school system here. We've continued to be committed to Girls Can Camp. I remember that came up the last time. People wanted to know, hey, what are y'all doing for females? Girls Can Camp was a big deal for us. Hiring people from the Society of Women Engineers, partnering with that chapter at the University of South Alabama. Also partnering with the NSBE chapter to try to provide opportunities to hire African American engineers from South Alabama. We've partnered with Alabama A&M and Tuskegee to try to provide internship opportunities to bring some of our kids back home. A lot of our kids go off to college and they never come back home. So we're trying to provide those partnerships. We've worked closely with the STEP program through Commissioner Lutgood's office to make sure that we provide those students an opportunity to come back and work and have internships at Austell. And that's just a few of the things that we're doing to give back to the community and to the city of Mobile, and just trying our best to be a good corporate citizen for the city of Mobile. Ryan?
Thank you.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. Morning.
Ryan Lee, honored to be here to speak on behalf of Austell. As Napoleon said, I'm the Senior Workforce Development Manager at Austell. I can tell you strategically our direction going forward is to do what we've done in the past, continue to invest in the workforce here in Mobile and locally. And we plan to do that for all the right reasons because it's the right thing to do, but we also need it. It's vital. As we all know, going through COVID-19, the workforce has been shaken up and it's a very tight labor market, and it's vital to our success and the success of all the businesses here. Speaking towards the past, we've partnered with AIDT and others like Bishop State, and we've had great success in hiring people from entry-level positions into high-wage, high-demand jobs and giving them skills that they use at Austell today and have transferred to other companies in the local area. We know this effort of workforce development benefits all industry in the area, in Mobile specifically. So just appreciate you all hearing our request and supporting us and making this investment in the infrastructure. We can talk about all the things we've done, which are kind of static. I think you all know those, but looking forward, it's a big investment into the future of Austell as we're adding this new capability of steel. The possibilities are near unlimited, so we're asking you to make that investment along with us into that dynamic opportunity and possibility of all the great things that can bring Mobilians for decades. Thank you.
Any questions from the council?
I just wonder, first of all, what his position was, sir, last speaker. I didn't catch your name either, I'm sorry.
Ryan Lee.
Ryan Lee.
Senior Workforce Development Manager.
Cool deal. Thank you. And I don't know who can answer, but as I understand it, we're given, it's going to be $3 million, split 1.5 between us and the county. Who is doing the work, and how did that contract come along? In other words, are we letting the contract? Is our engineering letting the contract, or is the county doing the contract? Who's running the building of the road?
No, sir. So Austell will be running the contract for themselves, just to stay on point for the time being for this. And it is, you are correct. It is a partnership with the county commission. We'll be with them at their work session on Thursday, and then they'll be approving, with everything going well, they'll be approving on Monday as well.
Who's doing the work?
The company, I don't think it has been selected yet for them on that, but we can confirm that when that is and let you know.
It's a lot of money to go out of the state.
No, I will tell you, so Austell has 250 suppliers. The overwhelming majority of their suppliers are all within these two communities that we have right next to us. So, I mean, the overwhelming majority, they support over 10,000 Alabama jobs just through their supplier network. And we've done some studies on that to see they're committed to using local.
Chris, is it required in the contract that they use?
They have to use good faith efforts to hire local, and that goes for the contractors as well as the employees.
Awesome.
I have a question.
All right, Ms. Rich.
Thank you. I'll ask this first of the administration. Is the 1.5 coming out of our economic development?
Yes. 500 at a
Thank
time.
you. Okay, that's good to explain. And also, will the road, when it's constructed, be then maintained by the city of Mobile, or will it be a private road maintained by Austell?
So I believe the maintenance will end up being turned over, but again, we'll confirm that
Okay.
with the process.
Thank you.
Mr. Richardson.
Yes, so much further. Thank you. To Mr. Lee and Bracy. I have a vested interest in you all succeeding. I want you all to succeed. I am the only city official who traveled to Perth, Australia, to recruit Ulster to talk to the international corporate body regarding Ulster building the littoral combat ships inside the city of Mobile. And so and Ulster agreed with me then that they would be coming. They came. But what I said when I met with Ulster officials about the project that we are discussing now is, once I finished talking to them, I found out that a considerable number of workers over there were coming in from Baldwin County. And I asked them, had Baldwin County contributed anything toward the success of Ulster? And they said no. And I said, brothers and sisters, we can't keep paying and then the other folk come and get the jobs. We can't keep doing that. If you want Mobile to pay, then their jobs ought to come to Mobile. If Baldwin County want to work over there, then they ought to put some money in the pot to help Ulster to improve itself and create more jobs. But same thing happened with Airbus, where we put all this money in, you go over there, and they overrun us with their employees. They didn't put in a dime. So I'm interested in a clause being in the contract to say that you will make every effort to make sure that the people that you employ will come from Mobile County. And Chris, did you say we have something similar to that in there?
It says that they'll make good faith efforts to use local contractors and hire local employees.
I take good faith efforts to mean that where our people are qualified to do it, they'll be considered, and if they can't find the qualified people, they are free to go anywhere they want to go, and I don't have nothing against that.
Any other council members?
Thank you.
I would like to ask a question. This day and time that we face in America, short of employees across the nation, I mean, are y'all having the same issue at Austell? And if so, I mean, you're looking to grow Austell. I mean, what's your future plans into, tackle that situation?
Yeah, we are, in a summary, experiencing a lot of the same things you're talking about. Right now, we're transitioning to steel, as you know. So we're not on a huge hiring increase, but we are actively hiring. But in the next year, we foresee a major increase in hiring. And we plan to do a lot of the same things we've done in the past, plus some new things, because it's going to take all options. And there's no silver bullet to find qualified labor and develop qualified labor. We have to all work together to develop that workforce. So we'll continue to make those investments, what we call into our hire down, scale up model. So you take people who are marginally skilled, maybe not skilled in a craft, for example, or engineering, or whatever skill it is. You inject them into a program, provide them a career pathway, and work with partners to develop them, like Bishop State, for example. So we will be doing that, more of that in the next year to 2 years, and we've probably done in the last 2 years.
Okay. Ms. Rich, you had a question?
It's really not a question. I know that you're in a completely different industry, but our Airbus team works real hard with our public schools to have a track to get interested students, boys and girls, young boys and girls. And I was wondering if Austell was looking at perhaps starting something like that in the community.
Absolutely. I think there's multiple ways to do that. We have done that in the past through internships, through what we call a youth apprenticeship program, pre-apprenticeship programs. We've taken a more OJT type approach to it, where we're actually hiring students, sometimes even on a co-op. Our last youth apprenticeship, which Napoleon referred to, actually took seniors out of Mobile County high schools. I think it was, 6 or 8 different high schools that we took students from across the county in Mobile, and we actually employed them as co-op students. So they would go to school in the morning and then come work at Austell in the afternoons part-time, and they would develop a skill. It was all training for them, but they were
Right.
getting paid, they were in a job, and then once they graduated high school, because there's still an emphasis, we don't want to hire them full-time and discourage the high school graduation.
Right.
So once they graduate and get that diploma, we rolled, 95% of those into full-time jobs.
Right. I guess Airbus has done a pretty good job of not marketing or promoting that to the community, where they have events and, invite parents and stuff. So I was wondering if that would be something, you become more overt with it, so that it is something that people can learn and encourage their students to participate in.
Exactly. And we're doing more of a grassroots effort, I guess, to answer your question. We've gone in and recruited specifically from CTE programs and hired them directly into either an internship or a pre-apprenticeship, youth apprenticeship. So we go and select those students that already have a starting point, that have shown interest and some aptitude, and we talk directly. So it's a smaller scale. They have the Flight Path 9. So theirs is more, large scale on the front end, and I'm not exactly sure how their program works on the back end. But from what I can tell, ours seems to be more pointed to specific jobs and hiring people and getting people to work and paying wages, while theirs seems to be more general education and awareness. But I could be wrong about that.
Yeah. Have you thought about scholarships at Bishop or even at South Alabama, that the people who are recipients would then move into your manufacturing plant?
That is something that is on our agenda with
That would
our
be great.
senior leadership team, is an internal program to do tuition reimbursement, just like what you're talking about,
Right.
for degrees that would match up with the kind of skills we're trying to develop. So that is definitely something that's on our radar.
We have good pipelines. It's just promoting them and getting them the resources they need to attract the talent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, we're working with dual enrollment as well. And the youth apprenticeship program that we had was in partnership with Bishop, and had a dual enrollment component to
Yeah.
it, as well as the local high school
Yeah.
system.
I mean, I understand to be more under the radar in order to, plan out the programs, but at some point, if you promote them, I think they tend to get better and more people get interested.
Agree, and that's definitely going to be.
Because I think that I know the talent's here. It's just a
Absolutely.
matter of getting it organized.
That's right. The majority of our workforce comes from Mobile, so
Right.
the talent's definitely here, and we look
Yes.
forward to
Don't disagree.
working to do that. Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to say that, Councilman Richardson and some of the administration, we had traveled overseas to Airbus, and one thing they have prided themselves of is having an apprenticeship program, something like what Mrs. Rich said, and pretty much the apprenticeship program went out to high schoolers in that particular community. And I think it was with a wing manufacturer, if I'm not mistaken.
That's where we first saw it.
Yeah, and so pretty much they will have the buses to bring the students back to the manufacturer to get their minds, tied up into aerospace. And pretty much just sitting here just thinking about that, pretty much, and I understand you all work with Williamson High School, but to pretty much spread your wings among many other high schools and see what type of job labor that's possible they could do to pretty much to keep their mind idle. Occupied, because we know that an idle mind is a devil's workshop, and unfortunately we have a lot of youth that have idle minds out there. So I really think that, really if they can have some type of incentives, especially in the school system, to get their mind, hey, if I stay on the right track, I can be making, 50, 60, X number $1,000 a year if I just keep straight, stay out of trouble, and et cetera. So that's something I would like for you all to do, really just pretty much just have a wide spread, especially across the school systems and stuff. But I know that you all do have some partnership in the school system, but
And thank you. And I just want to just make sure y'all knew that the partnership that we have with Wisdom High School is through the Signature Academies, but that's not the only school that we partner with. When we hire for our youth apprenticeship program, we hire from every public high school in Mobile County. Okay. So we have reached out. And we also serve on business advisory council boards. And what that does is give us an opportunity to meet with each school and let them know what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. And that way, when these students graduate from high school, they're graduating college and career ready. A lot of them, they've already done some welding before. They know that this is something that they may actually be interested in. They may have taken an auto body mechanic class or carpentry or something and know that this is something that they would be interested in. And also safety. They've taken safety classes, so they have an idea of what shipyard life is kind of about. And then we have relationships with the instructors, because the instructors, they're pretty much the people that we have to talk to get references on the students. And we talk to the students about staying drug free. That's one test we can't help them take, right? So, you have to stay drug free. We're going to speak to your instructor. We're going to speak to your principal, because those are the people that's going to tell us. And we have that relationship that they're telling us, like, hey, this person is going to be a great employee. Mm-hmm. This person is okay. This person's always on their cell phone playing around. Don't take safety serious. So we have those type of relationships at every school that they're telling us exactly what we're getting, so we can try to help build those students up. Say, hey, you're not quite ready, but if you do some of these things, you will be ready. So we've tried to focus in on that, and so it is a little bit larger than Williamson, but that's our focus, because that was the school that we were assigned through the Signature Academy. But we have hired from every school.
Approximately how many students?
It was about 40-something students that we hired for the youth apprenticeship. Then, of course, COVID came and shook it right before graduation. And then we hired about 95% of them are current Austin employees right now.
And when they apprentice, approximately how much they're making?
They came in.
Yeah.
So during the co-op period?
Yes.
When we hired them full time.
No, when they apprentice as students, yeah, in high school.
$8 an hour.
$8, okay.
But when we hired them full time, what did the 15, 16?
Yeah, they went to $15 an hour. Right around 15, might have been $14.90, something like that.
So like, let's say in April they were at $8 when they were high school students. Mm-hmm. When they graduated in May, they went up to about 15. Mm-hmm. So okay. that was kind of the incentive for them.
And a track that would go up as they were employed.
Right, correct.
On their experience.
Okay. All right. Any other council members? Thank you all so much.
All right. Thank you.
As Representative Leopold Bracey, State Representative.
Thank you.
07923, approve the issuance of multifamily housing revenue bonds by the Public Finance Authority in an amount not to exceed $55 million.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can somebody talk about that?
They said they'd be here at 10:30.
Oh.
Right?
All right.
08924, approve purchase order to Links for annual drive cam subscription for cameras for the motor pool, $192,176.04. 08925, approve purchase order to 5Cast for intelligence software annual subscription for the police cyber division, $74,500. 08926, approve purchase order to Gauls LLC for 82 body armor protective vest for MPD, $56,104. 09927, transfer $30 million from the unassigned fund balance in the general fund to capital improvements fund.
Mr. President.
Mr. Richardson and Ms. Rich.
I think I know what this is for, but I want to be sure what I'm voting on. Right now, this is a cat in a sack. Otherwise, it's not saying what we're going to do. And for what I understand is for, I'm for it 100%. But I think by the time it gets back to us, you all going to work on this and tell us. I think we need to know what it's for. I mean, unwrap it. It's wrapped up.
Yeah, and
Did someone answer Mr. Rich's
yeah.
the question?
So we explained, it was explained what the thought was last week. I don't know how to embellish that anymore or to explain it any simpler, is that, we were taking money that's from the general fund reserve and we're going to set it aside for the next council to make the determination on how it will actually be drawn down. And that was the thought. The thought was that this money had accrued on your watch, and it would give you an opportunity to either vote in support of the future of the airport or vote against it. And it's really just that simple. And if you choose not to set it aside, then we'll go forward with the next city council to determine exactly how it'll be spent.
Ms. Rich?
No, I was going to say, we know what the intent of the money, it wasn't a capital program, and at least from what I learned, because it's not anything that the city is going to build or city is going to maintain. So in that regard, it's more economic development. However, I would still like, in order to explain to people exactly what was going to transpire with the $30 million. And I realize it's eventually to get to the Mobile Airport Authority.
Right.
But I just needed some understanding of it,
So
other than just
we can
tucking it away as a capital program, because that doesn't mean anything.
So this doesn't need to be voted on today, and so what we can do is that we can have the airport authority, outline the cost of the components of the project, and knowing that when they do that money will go into a fund, to be directed to building the terminal or building a parking deck or whatever the components are, to build it out. And it is economic development.
Yes,
I mean, it's
definitely.
purely economic development.
You
But
should
we'll be
probably
glad to
tuck it
get you
into
the
that.
listing of how the money would be spent.
It's not a capital program, because if we're going to just say it's 30 million for city capital, then the next council, which of course will be sworn in to do as they see fit, could put it towards something that was truly in line with city capital. This is not in line with city capital.
So, Councilor Woods is telling me that, the reason we're transferring to capital, and I'll let him explain
Sure.
that. So, but the intent of where the money's going, the purpose of where it's going is, as I said, but there may be a nuance about why we need to handle it a certain way.
So there's several reasons you put it in capital, and as you as experienced counselors understand that capital doesn't go back into an unencumbered area. So for instance, capital, remember, can transfer from year to year. You don't know how long this is going to take. And so whoever makes the decision to pay this money, it may be paid over the course of a number of years. You wouldn't just, or at least in our experience, the council doesn't just hand over that type of money. So in order to keep it in a fund where you're not only encumbering it, but you don't have to go back and reconfigure it from year to year, you would put it in capital so that doesn't happen. That's the budgetary reason. The secondary reason is we don't necessarily know what council will approve and what we'll have to build. It could be the city that's actually helping us sign on to what we're doing. It could be a joint effort. We don't know this because it's uncharted territory.
Right.
And so what you do is you've got this just moving the money in a placeholder, and then the next council will have to put together a project agreement that works lockstep with MAA. And I think it probably will help for the MAA to come down and explain to you what their plans are and aren't, and they're not opposed to that.
Okay, the placeholder that you talk about, I understand what you're saying, because capital can sit for 3 years without any movement.
Bingo.
And then once it gets obligated, it kind of gets a number and stays focused. So I get that.
That's right.
At the same time, your economic development fund is also an isolated and earmarked fund. that unless you can prove that the money is going to go towards something that is going to spur economic development, you don't use that particular entity.
That's
So
exactly right.
there's ways to place it, and I just think the resolution is very wide open and asking people who are in their last 2 weeks of sitting on the council to, isolate one-third of the surplus. If what we're hearing is the 90 million surplus, you're taking one-third of it and isolating it, and that doesn't make me feel comfortable and to obligate the person that will be in this chair on behalf of the same residents that I've represented over the number of years. So if we could just get some more language into exactly what we're doing, I think the community is aware of it. The intent is clear. Having the airport down town as opposed to where it's been for the last number of years is something that very few people are opposed to. They see it as the best, chance for our airport to be extremely successful in the future. So it's not the concept of it. It's just that obligating the money and the way the language is right now, it leaves a lot to be desired from my perspective. Thanks.
Mr. Richardson. Yes, sir. That's something I like your idea. Each year when we vote on CIP, we put a certain amount of that money aside for capital, put another part aside for economic development. It's been that you can't put economic development in there. It just didn't. We don't need nobody from the airport authority coming down here. We need you to say what we're going to do with the money. We don't need to have nobody making a big speech. I don't think no one is in opposition to doing what you want to do. And we don't need to wait on no new council. It'll show back up next week and we can vote on it and be done with that. I want to say that I played a role in the new airport coming to Brooklyn Field. So if we want to go with the law, according to the Zogbag, any capital funds placed on the council agenda must be divided equally among all 7 council districts. That's what the Zogbag says. We're talking about, so all you have to say is what you want to do it for. Then we're not dealing with council districts. We know exactly what it's for, and let's do it. Matt Simpson been out here for 8 years. You know what to do. You don't need to call nobody else. You don't need no lawyer to advise you. Do what you need to do, Matt Simpson. You know what to do.
Any other council members? Madam Clerk.
21928, authorized contract with, LEAP Engineering for drainage improvements at Mill Creek Park, $22,850. 21929, authorized contract with TAG for roof replacement and exterior repairs, Mobile Technology Center, $26,950. 25930, grant sewer easement and temporary construction easements to Moz for 3 Mile Creek sewer trunk line. 21931, authorized contract with Athena Manor to provide tennis lessons and clinics for Parks and Recreation Department, $40,000 per year. 21932, authorized contract with Sanders Highland Corporation for legal department floor replacement, $85,750.
There's a lot of carpet up there.
21933, authorized service contract with Engineered Cooling Services for HVAC preventive maintenance and repairs at the Mobile, Alabama Cruise Terminal, $59,100. 21934, authorized service contract with Gorham Air Conditioning for HVAC maintenance and repairs at various city facilities, $300,000.
I have a question about that one. In the past, it's always included the Connie Hudson Senior Center, but I didn't see them on the list. Is there a reason it's not there this year for maintenance? It's always been there. Yeah.
It's a various, any city facility.
No, there's a list of them. We have a list in our packet, and Connie Hudson Senior Center wasn't on it. And I've always know, because I look for it.
She's looking to add to it.
I would hope so. I mean, because it's so well-used and, thank you. All right. I mean, you had the list, so I just reviewed the list. Okay, thank you.
Madam Clerk.
45935, accept Wingate Court and Wingate Way of Winfield Subdivision Unit 5 for maintenance.
Yeah.
Call for public hearings, 41936, call for public hearing to consider the vacation of streets in Carondelet Apartments, scheduled November 23rd. Announcements.
Councilmember. Anything from the council? Anything from the administration? Okay. If not, we'll see each other at 10:30.